Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Yila from CZT Theresa Fessler. That's my guess on the pronunciation. All right. It sounds good. And oh my goodness, is this... Oh, it's a fun tangle. It is not necessarily as hard as it looks like it's going to be. It does take a little bit of focus, but it's one of those. I hope you give it a try. 'Cause, we had fun with it today on our Tough Tangle Tuesday, and we didn't hurt too many brains with it, so that was good. All right, so this starts off with, in the center of wherever you want it, and then this eyeballing. Okay. We're just going to do some curve lines. And you can have as many spokes as you want. I recommend, especially if it's your first try with it, have a decent distance in between. Don't try to cram them all together. Because, as you can, if you've peeked at the step out, you will see the next step. And by the way, step outs are in the description section below. All right, so once you have one set, then, and let me also mention, you don't necessarily have to leave room outside of this because we're not necessarily going to go bigger, although you can go a little taller than this in one of the later steps if you want. But I just like to let you know, because that's one of those things that I forget, until it's too late. It's like, oh yeah, I need to put stuff on the outside, but not necessarily on this one. Okay, so once you have these spokes, and they're just curve lines, then we're going to add a second set going in the same direction. That one I merged in. Let's try it without merging it right there at the bottom. Oh, like that. So the second set is just a little bit shy, a little shorter than the first set. And of course, as we're going through, you can lengthen them. It's all good. All right, so like that. All right, next. It doesn't matter which one you pick, but we're going to create a spiral from, so it doesn't matter which one you pick, but I'm picking this one. I could have just left the, tile the way it was and just picked whatever was easy for my hand to go. Sometimes it's just crazy. All right, so from the smaller one, let me make sure that my pen can be seen here. All right, from the smaller of the two, we're going to create a spiral. And so what we've created with these pairs of spokes, I don't know what I want to call them, but in this gap, it's a space that's going to turn into something. So what we're not going to cross any lines. So for instance, I'm starting here, starting the spiral, not going over, but going underneath this section, and going to continue around. And it is, and of course, up to you. Number one, how many rotations you do. I'm getting that awful close. Let's have it come in for a landing here. And I say awful close because we're going to put a second one underneath here. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens. Because we do end up doing two lines. And however you can get it to fit in there in the base, good. Actually, that looks kind of cool just the way it is. All right, now here's where we just started, right? We're going to go back So that would be counterclockwise or to the left, whatever way you want to think about it. And we're going to do the same thing. So also starting on the smaller, but what you want to make sure is that, these are uneven because we're going to continue this. That one ended up a little straight. In the end, it's not going to matter. Oops. That might. Just kidding. Going over the line. And just keep having it go around. You're essentially auraing what you've already done. So it's helpful because, or I find it helpful, I should say, because then I'm not having to I don't feel like I'm, having to figure out anything. It's like, oh, okay, I can copy off of what I already did. All right, that's more rotations than I had done previously. That's neat, and it's on a smaller surface, except for my step out. Oh, it's funny. All right, now going back to where we started. So we just started the second one here, right? But what we want to do is we're going to take this, and you know what? Actually, I'm going to do this backwards because it seemed to work before. Let me just show you. So we want to hollow out this line and have it meet to here. So it might work easier to just do it that way. The way I kept doing it was from here because that's the way I started everything else. So of course, why not keep going, right? But then today on, I think it was the PM call, it dawned on me, hey, we could go this way. And it works just fine. All right. Now, and always keeping in mind, okay, this is where we were just working, right? We're going to go backwards another one. And here's where we're going to work on those loops. So you have options. Of course, you can extend these if you need to. You can round them if you want. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to come right from the tip. I actually kind of liked it better. This is just me having that point, so it kind of looks a bit like a seed shape. But and I did one that was rounded, and I'll show you that in a bit. So from here, and again, we're not crossing any lines, so we're hollowing these sections like that. So you just have to keep in mind which part is which. So, and which part is part of the spiral and which is the gap, right? And if I tried to make these, I mean, these are pretty even, so which makes it hard to tell. I was like, if I had tried to do that, I don't know. All right, and then staying in that same spoke, same thing for here. And just bringing it in. And then this part is rinse and repeat. So here, same thing. So if you didn't quite get it, then I've got 3 more chances after this one to show you. All right, and then here, and like I said, you can extend this out a little bit if you need to. Either one of them, like that. So you can extend that and then come down. And if you think about the takeoff and land concept, which is like what I did here, except it did get a little bit messy, tracing over a little bit and then, continuing on the way you need to. All right, and second to last one. Center gets a little bit dark, but that's okay. Now this one, remember where we started, right? We started at the tip of that, and then made the spiral. So you could do 2 things. One, if you want to extend it so that way you have a little where you can see through, you could do that, or just pretend that this spiral is flush up against this loop, and so if you air draw it as if, right? And then I am going to extend that one. Because you have to remember, where did it go? that one looks a little bit weird, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. But you get the idea. Or, like I said, you can extend it up so it matches a little bit. But as you see, I mean, they're all different heights over that spiral. All right. That's it. Except for shading and stuff. So let's take a look at that. There, and of course, you can put patterns inside any of them. And I am going to work, I hope, tomorrow or Thursday. I say tomorrow, and then whenever I make a date, I'm like, yeah, sure. And then it takes 3 weeks longer than that. But I'm going to do my best to get the replay for these Tough Tangle Tuesdays out as soon as possible. I will just say that. And if you want to see them and see all of the gorgeous work that everybody did, 2 things. 1, subscribe to this channel so you can do that. And if you've enjoyed this, please click the like button while you're clicking. And then also, if you go to my website and follow my blog, because I do this in kind of 2 stages. I put out the video, and because I link the video, but it has to come here first. So you will see that, but then on my my blog, from my website, I put out a replay. So there I have the screenshots and any individual pictures that I've gathered, and then links to the session videos, the AM, the PM, and to this Quickie video. So it's kind of like, and the links to the step out. So it's all right there in one post. And I do that for most of the classes that I put on. I did get I'm way behind if I looked at collectively, but I do try to keep up with them as much as I can. All right. Oh, so many things to do on this. Let's just look at the over and unders. And that could be, so we could look at, 2 things. 1, we could look at the spiral first. So where things are going in, under, in, and out from, where you hollow bowed, basically. Oh, there's a lot on this one. And this is one of those things where I'm just going to start with one thing, and we'll see how it looks. And it doesn't mean that we don't have to do the others if we don't want to. You could also, let's see, that's going underneath that. This is just going to be dark in there. You could also fill in sections. You could put tangles in them. It depends on how much room that you have. I'm going to do it like this and then go the other way, or yeah, as I have room, because what I like to do, talking to myself, I'm halfway just talking to myself, what I like to do when shading, and I don't do it all the time, because we're allowed to break our own rules, just like we break the Zentangle rules and guidelines. I like to keep the tip of the Tortillion and my pencil where I want it the darkest, or basically, or I like to think of it as where I don't want to go over, because it just get like, if I reach here, it gets a little dangerous, because number 1, you can't see, and then 2, sometimes you can just work the tip where there's graphite and create that gradient that you want without having to put too much of it down. But if you're reaching over, it just gets dangerous. That's all. Let's see, did I get, oh no, down here. And I'd like to keep that shine in there as much as possible. When it gets down there in the center, it's a little dicey. Honestly, could just keep it like that. But we do have those other, behind there, those over and unders. Could do those as well. But I don't know. I kind of, well, you know what? Let me show you. I'm going to think on that for a minute. But you just get to have a lot of fun with that. All right, here's one. I didn't do a whole lot of decorating on these, but this was one that I definitely had fun with, but I just see I know where I need to touch up. So on this, I also did rounding in the edges. I used, and just by the way, tinted graphite that works with water, and so it's kind of like a watercolor, but that's what I used for the shading on this one. and I just don't know what else I want to do yet, so I'm just going to let it sit. But it also, it kind of sort of cleaned up where the water, where it kind of bled over the sides of the ink, but it's just an extra neat effect to do that. And so, well, this I basically did the same as no, I take it back, because I did do the big parts. These are a little bit darker. So because we have this point, I just made a line from one point to the next, and started with the shading on that side, and it does create a neat kind of folded-ish effect. Yeah, kind of cool. All right, and then I did this one, and this one I just started playing with. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So on this, I added an extra line in the center of those big, the big loops. And this is the one where I decided, I took the line, and that's where the spoke was, right? And I took it and I curved it over, just because I wanted to play with that, because I thought it'd be neat. And it is. It is. It just depends on what you want to do. And actually, because I probably did that, of course, after this. So if I had pre-thought, I'm going to make them all curvy, I could probably have made this a bit curvier. But, in the end, it doesn't matter, because it's kind of a different thing, right? That's the beginning, of the spiral. Yeah, and the others are loops. And we had some that made it, okay, so I'll try to remember who it was. Because you could kind of make it look like it's one thing. So it's like, here's this spiral, kind of like a Celtic knot, where you don't know where the beginning is and you don't know where the end is. So it's just really, really neat. And then I did one on black. I like the way it turned out, using some soapstone for the highlight. And I left it because I really like it. And sometimes, it's okay to just move on and do something else if you don't know exactly how you want to finish it. Then you just have homework for later. I have all of my unfinished in a baggie, and I need to make sure that they're with my go kit, so that way, if you're heading out somewhere and you might have a little time to tangle, and that way you can just select and and play until you think you're done. Something, of course, obviously on the outside would be fun on any of them, but really, really neat, really neat. And so I think I'm gonna leave that one, because all these other ones, except, this I sort of decorated that. This one I decided to decorate with white lines, in the empty spaces, and that's kind of neat. And that just within the loops. So I decided not to do it here, because I just wanted to do it in between the loops. That's it. So anyway, lots of fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you tangled along, because some of these, they look daunting, but it's really not that bad. It's just one of those, just slow down and don't worry about stuff, because you can see all of the differences. I won't point out all the places, on the other ones where I went, because it doesn't matter in the end. And then there's always ways to correct things. So for instance, doing the rounding is a nice course correction if you have some places that are a little uneven. Like I was thinking, well, right here I could do that. There was someplace else. And on top of it, it gives a neat look. I did mine kind of small, and if I have them blend in a little bit more, it might make it look even cooler. But like I said, it's just a neat effect. And some of the fun of this is just saying, oh my gosh, look at what I did. And that's that. And just you have fun with it, and that's what matters. All right, so again, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, click on the like button. Click to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And then in that description section, I mentioned there's links to the step outs. And then below that is my Linktree link. And there you'll have links to everything. My website, Facebook page, where you can follow me for classes. Because, Tough Tangle Tuesday is one of the free classes that I put on. So it's, I do it 2 times. Same content. You just get a second chance. So a lot of people come to both, and it's really, it is so much fun. I say it's so much fun, but it's because not only is the tangling fun, but we just have a hoot with each other, and you just have to experience it, or watch the replay. I try to read everything in the chat and to keep you in the mix of kind of what's going on as best I can, because otherwise it'd just be boring, if you just were watching Mom and me, tangle. Oh, anyway, come and join us. But I just want to point that out, that these are free, and if you're interested in that, follow me on Facebook. There are some other places to follow me that I have listed there. And if you would like to be part of, a community of tanglers, we would love to have you. The link is there what does it say? Tangle Addicts Community Group. And again, that's on Facebook. And when you click that, there are 4 questions that you must answer to gain entry. I do that for a number of reasons. The big 2 is, 1, it sets the tone and expectations for, here's what we do in the channel. Here's where you can find some information so you can, come in and just, get involved right away. And then 2, it does seem to keep out, I don't know, there's those people that just need to cause trouble, and whether they're actual people or bots or whatever, it does seem to keep that stuff out. So that's part of it. All right. So with that, I think that's everything. But come join us. This is the 3rd Tuesday of the month, Tough Tangle Tuesday, and then every Thursday also free sessions where we just it's similar. We just don't do necessarily tough tangles, so I like to try to keep those reserved, although every once in a while I goof up and put in a tangle that was like, no wait, this should be on Tough Tangle Tuesday. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.